I'm Bane, and I just love excitement. Like the time I pretended to be a girl and went into the girls' locker room, where they were to find out some of female secrets. However, then I got stuck in there and barely got out. So now I will tell you everything. When I went to college, I joined the basketball team almost immediately. I will say that the guys were there with humor and constantly arranged some tests of strength. This was funny, considering that the tasks were almost borderless. The guys and I loved extreme sports. One day it got to the point that Chucky, one of our team members, went to the pharmacy, where there was a huge queue, and asked the pharmacist at the top of his voice if they had a remedy for hemorrhoids. This was his initiation when he joined our ranks. He was a little ahead of me, so it was my turn next. The loser, that is, the one who refused to complete the task or did not complete it completely, had to fulfill one wish of each basketball player as punishment. And this is very unprofitable, so everyone tried to pass the challenge perfectly. Well, when it was my turn, I was told to dress up as a girl inside someone's company, spend some time there, and find out some secrets. Damn, this is a mess, I thought, but I wasn't going to give up. I was given a week to complete the task. In that short time, I was supposed to be someone's new girlfriend. It's good that I had a great sister who was very supportive. Of course, when I got home, the first thing I did was ask her for help. Kelly immediately opened the closet and sat me down in front of the mirror. "It's a good thing your beard isn't growing," she said, and started putting makeup on me. A couple of hours later, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "I would be a beauty if I were a girl." But Kelly lowered my ego from heaven to earth. "You look like a girl, only the ugly one," she said. So the next day I appeared at school as a beefy blonde with a ridiculous gait because of the heels. When the guys saw me at the entrance to the school, they tried not to laugh, but I pretended that I didn't know them. I chose the right company for myself, a single girl from our group. I approached her on the pretext of asking where the math room was. Fortunately, it was a lecture week, so we attended classes in large groups, and it was easy for me to hide in the crowd and remain unnoticed in front of the teachers. "Are you new?" she asked, squinting at my fake breasts. "Yes," I said. "I will study with you now." "Welcome," Joanna said, and shook my hand. I returned the handshake out of habit. "Oh, you're strong," she said. "Damn it, I forgot I was a girl." I giggled as much as I could. I said, "I love sports," smiling shyly. Then Joan and I went to a lecture together, where I tried to connect with her, and I think I did it. After school, I suggested that Joan have lunch somewhere, and she agreed. She turned out to be a girl with humor. We really had fun. It turns out that she does not have a father in the family, and she helps her mother on weekends, who works as a waitress in a diner. And in addition to her, there are 2 small twin brothers. I suddenly thought to myself how difficult it was to live like this, because I had never needed anything, and I didn't know what hunger was. "Oh, I'm sorry, we just met, and I'm saddening you with my problems," she said. I reassured her that everything was fine. "No, I'm interested," I said. She asked me why I was so interested in her, and the only thing I could think of was to say that I felt like we were close in spirit. Jonah laughed and said that she didn't have any friends at this school and would be happy to see me. "Everyone here seems so insincere to me, especially the girls who are friends of our basketball players. Well, the basketball players themselves. Those are some assholes," she said. I was surprised and asked, "Why are these guys so bad?" "Oh, you just don't know them. To warn you, I'll tell you, don't mess with them. They like to bully girls, especially girls like me. 6 months ago, these stupid rich kids set up a camera in the toilet and videotaped me, you know? And then they distributed the video to the class," she said. And I suddenly remembered that Jim had been assigned the task of filming one of the girls peeing in the toilet. At the same time, we thought it was funny, but I forgot it was Joan. Suddenly, I felt incredibly ashamed in front of her, and she went on to say that she ran home and was going to drop out of school after such an incident. But looking at her brothers, she knew that she had no right to drop out of school. Otherwise, she would not find a decent job. We talked for most of the afternoon. Then I went home, and for a long time I could not sleep. I lay on the bed and thought about my terrible actions. "I see you like the look. "You didn't even change," Kelly said as she entered the room. I smiled and asked how she walked in such uncomfortable shoes. She laughed and asked me how my day was. I told her the whole story, including my conversation with Joan. "Well, dear brother, congratulations. You are awakening a new feeling you don't know, conscience," she said, and left smiling. The next day, I ran up to Joan again. We chatted through the lecture again. I suggested that her and I go shopping. Then I got a text message from Harry, my friend. "Do not get used to the image of a girl. If you don't complete the task, you will fulfill our wishes," he wrote. I looked at them, and they were sitting in a group laughing, and I gave them the middle finger. Just like Joan and I agreed, we went shopping and picked out some clothes. I wanted to dilute her meager and modest wardrobe a little, and I offered her more colorful things. At first she refused, but then she took the risk and looked absolutely brilliant. I gave her more and more clothes, and she laughed and tried everything on. In the mirror, she saw a new self. Then she asked me to help her zip up her dress in the fitting room. I shouldn't have gone there. I saw her there and felt strange. I was fascinated by her and unexpectedly kissed her. Of course, Joan got scared, shouted that I was a fool, got dressed and ran away. "What have I done?" I said, but did not have time to catch up. In the evening, I told my sister again. She asked me what would happen if I lost. "Are you ready to grant all their wishes?" And I didn't know if I was ready. I was confused now. But once you start, you have to go to the end. In the morning, I went back to school, and the first thing I did was go to Jonah. She was scared and wanted to run away, but I stopped her and apologized. "I'm sorry, but I like boys," she said. I laughed and said it was okay, it was a mistake. We agreed to just be friends. I decided to complete my task after all, and a few days later, I persuaded my new girlfriend to go to a gym class with our girls. When I went inside, I was of course stunned by what I saw. The guys would definitely envy me. No one paid attention to me, and I on the contrary. Joan changed quickly and said she would be waiting for me outside. Since I couldn't change, I waited for everyone to come out, but in the meantime, I hid in the shower room. After there was silence, I went out and went to the exit, but the door was locked. "Oh no, it can't be," I said. I tried to pull the door a few more times. I'm stuck. For the next half hour, I screamed for help and tried to break the window, but nothing happened. Physical education was the last lesson and everyone went home immediately. There was no one to help me. My cell phone is dead. I was angry. After sitting like this for another hour, I heard the doors open, but I heard a familiar male voice, as well as the voice of Sophie, a girl from our group. They whispered and then made love. Damn it, it was our handler, but he's an old man. My eyes widened in surprise, and I almost threw up, but they were busy there. I opened the door and escaped from there. That night, I met the boys and told them everything. They congratulated me on my success, and then told me that the topic of Sophie and the curator's love relationship should be reeled in, and offered to make posters and distribute them to the college. When I heard this idea, I opposed it. The guys were surprised and asked why I didn't support this joke. But after talking to Joan, I wasn't amused by what we were doing. I said I didn't want to be a part of this anymore. Billy began to mimic me, saying that my new chick had brainwashed me. I got angry and asked him not to call her that. In short, we had a fight and I left. Under the influence of adrenaline and emotion, I ran home to Joan. When she opened the door, I kissed her again. She slapped me in the face and screamed that I was an idiot. "What the fuck are you doing here? Get out of my house. Is this your next joke?" she asked. But I told her everything. She got mad at me, cursed me, hit me, and chased me away. Yes, she forgave me, and later, we started dating. Hi guys, I'm Charlie. I want to tell you a story about how I spent a week in a women's hostel. It happened that I was the only one of the guys there. To be honest, it was a bit of a shock to me. I've made a lot of new discoveries that I want to share with you. After this difficult week, I confess to you, I already saw the world differently. In my family, only my mother is female. a male father and two brothers, so I grew up mostly in a male group. And I didn't go into women's details. There wasn't much interest. I didn't even know how to behave around ladies, and at school, I liked hanging out with the boys more. After high school, I went to university in Florida, but it was miles from home. I couldn't go to school every day from home. Accordingly, I decided to take care of accommodation in advance and applied for a place in the dormitory, and everything seemed to be going well, but I wanted to move to Florida in advance and have a good look around the city. I packed up and left a week early, but of course it doesn't always happen the way we want it to. Upon arrival in the city, I noticed the dormitory where I took a place is currently finishing renovation work. I couldn't check in yet. Apparently, they forgot to warn me about this in advance. But where was I going to live that week? I wasn't thinking. I couldn't rent an apartment because I didn't have much money. But fortunately, I was offered a separate room in a women's hostel. There wasn't anything strange about it, so I agreed. This is where all my discoveries began. Upon arrival, I arranged my things. I lay down to rest a little from the road, and didn't notice and fell asleep. I was awakened by loud shouts and wild laughter. As it turned out, it was just the girls in the next room communicating with each other. There was an active session on how the guys behaved and how delicious the burgers were. This made me laugh a little. It was already evening, and I decided to take a short walk around the city and have dinner at the same time. Unfortunately, I didn't know anyone in Florida, so I was walking by myself. I returned to the dorm late in the evening. On arrival, I saw that all the girls were actively going somewhere. As it turned out, they were preparing to go to a party. Everyone was running down the hall, trying on each other's clothes as if their entire wardrobe was a big free market. I calmly walked to my room and went to sleep in the morning. I again woke up from the noise. It turns out that when they come home drunk from a party, for them, any little thing is the funniest thing in the world. Oh my God, ha ha ha, I just ate a carrot. I couldn't sleep because of the noise. I listened to their conversations until morning. I even tried to tap on the wall to calm them down, but you know, when girls try to be quiet, they make an incredible noise with their shh. When I went to the bathroom in the morning, I saw a staggering number of different jars and bottles, just thousands of them. These innumerable bottles are littering the bathroom, all the shelves, bags, and even the floor. And in the shower itself, I saw clumps of hair stuck to the wall. That's about how all the days in the dorm went. Many girls did not close the door to their room. It was then that I learned all the details. In each group, there is one girl who plays the role of mother to everyone else. She helps everyone take off their makeup, carries water, and makes sure that everyone is home in the evening. And there is one of them that is responsible for evenly applying arrows to the eyes. The others seem useless. There are things they call chicken fillets, and it's not the kind of fillet that we guys eat. Once I was not allowed to go to the toilet from 5 in the evening because there was a queue for the shower until 11, and then for another 3 hours for makeup. Every night during the party preparations, I heard the phrase, "God, I'm so fat, I can't fit into this." And guys, they will always change clothes several times. Do yourself a favor and go to sleep. Do you think that if she tries on a third outfit, she will be ready soon? Ha! Each girl has 2 cosmetic bags, one with cosmetics that they really need all the time, and the other is never used. It's full of stuff they haven't even touched. But they always take it with them, and wherever you look, there will be invisible hair. Gender, invisible man. A bed, invisible man. Shower, invisible again. In general, I couldn't wait until this week passed so I could safely move to my dorm. That's how I learned a lot about girls. Share this video and tell us what other oddities you noticed in them.